So I read the second part of Warbreaker, and again, it actually doesn't have parts. So I'm at page 187 and I'm just about to start chapter 18. So that's where I'm at. And I want to just run through what's happened, whether any of my predictions so far have come true, and then make some predictions for what's going to come. And the very first prediction that I made has come true, even though it was very small and quite obvious. And that is that Vivenna, I believe her name is pronounced, did in fact come to town. So what I now think we're going to do is I think we're going to get some pairings. So I think we're going to get Lightsong and Ciri together, and then we're going to have Rashek and Vivenna together, because that's just how it seems to be set up. So Ciri and Lightsong have even interacted. It was a strange interaction, and Lightsong has now discovered how innocent and incorrupted and caught in a web Ciri is, and I think that's going to appeal to him a lot. So he will want to spend time with her, and maybe together they unravel, because he's quite curious about the Returned himself and isn't completely bought into him being a god. And I would guess that Ciri probably shares a lot of the same ideas, especially after spending time with the God King and realizing that there's definitely something amiss or something afoot. So them two spending a lot of time together makes a lot of sense. And then I just realized that I called Vasha Rashek in the last section. Rashek is obviously someone from a different Cosmere book, my bad. But Vasha and Vivenna are going to spend time together, because Vasha sees Vivenna when she goes to see the big reveal or the wedding of Ciri, and the book says he looks at her like he knows her. So he's obviously from a rebel faction, that's been made very clear, and it would appear, or we know, that Vivenna's father had set up, I think his name was Lamix, as essentially a chief spy. So anything that chief spy can do to undermine the system into Talir, surely Vasha would be involved in that as well. So it's only natural for those to be our pairings for the rest of the book. The other thing I want to talk about is the color thing. So colors are obviously extremely important, and I really don't have any more like concrete ideas as to what happens, but something is called the iridescent tones. Iridescent, I googled it, means something that you can see, something that when you look at it, it seems to have like different colors. It reveals different colors even from one color. And the God King did give off that look, because he's reached the 10th ascendancy. So would it be too hard to imagine that the God King is the iridescent tones that they're talking about and the things that they kind of pray to, and the God King decides who returns in some manner? I don't know how that would help him, and I don't fully believe that he's in charge here. As I said in the previous video, I think that he's actually not a slave, but he is definitely not as all as it seems, as his slave or servant said. So yes, have that very ill-formed, half thought out prediction. I also think that Talir has already planned on attacking Idris, and I think there's a big secret in Idris, and obviously there's a lot of secrets in this book, like it's all shrouded very much in mystery, and that's why I've really enjoyed the start of this one. But I think the king, Ciri and Vivenna's father, knows something, and the damn, I forgot the name of them. The priests are running the Returned, I think, and the priests know that the king in Idris knows of something. And what I think this thing is, and I'm so sorry to be so vague, but the book is so vague so far. What I think this thing is that there's a hidden army, and that hidden army is mentioned, and the name of that hidden army is Kalad's lifeless army. And from what I remember, it says that army went missing and was just out there somewhere. So maybe the fact that the God King needs to, bring together the actual lineage of Ciri and Vivenna and their father, something to do with their hair being able to grow, something to do with them being able to change the color of their hair. Like they need that in their bloodline to counterattack Kalad's lifeless army. Something along those lines is what I'm thinking. So I have some predictions. I think that Ciri will become a returned. Not sure why, but, well, actually no, I do have an inkling. So I know that the returned can give up their life to make someone else, to heal somebody else, right? And I feel like the God King is kind of deciding who's going to become returned. But what if the God King gave up his life for somebody else? Would that be passing on enough breaths to make somebody else the God King? And would that then make Ciri the God King? And by making her the God King or the God Queen, would that then put an end to a large potential war, or because she has the qualities of the lineage of royalty, because she just is royalty, she can grow the hair, her hair can change color. And then if she was given all of those breaths and became a returned somehow, then surely she would be the perfect God Queen to stop all wars, because she would just bring those two nations together, potentially. I also think that Vivenna is going to become a powerful awakener because she already has those breaths. That makes sense. And I think initially I thought Lightsong would give up his life for Ciri or Vivenna, but now I think the God King's going to give up his life for Ciri and turn her into the God Queen. I have absolutely no logic for any of these things, but I think it would make a lot of sense. To go back to the priests though, I'm very suspicious of these priests. One of them is called Trilides, and I think that's the main priest for the God King. Says he was big, almost like a returned. So potentially he was a returned, or still is a returned, or there's something to do with him and the secret of the returned, and the secret that the priests are looking for something from the returned. And I don't know what it is, obviously, but the priests have a lot more power than we think. They're more powerful than the returned. And on top of all that, we get the really strange advice from Bluefingers, or Bluefinger, I should say, just one finger being blue. He says that not is all as it seems, and he also talks about the God King's knees. Not his knees, his needs, which was delicious. It sounds like it's so well done. Like he whispers it in her ear, and he obviously doesn't want the priests to know. So it got me thinking, like, he seems really concerned that Ciri and the God King are making a baby. So I think he doesn't want that to happen, because he knows when that does happen, then Talia will attack, or then the God King will have served his purpose, or something like that. And the God King actually has a different need, clearly. Maybe to be released from his prison of the priests. I do not know. Yeah, no idea there. But more about the priests being sneaky, and the returned, especially the God King, actually being a bit of a prisoner. So I feel like Blushweaver is actually one of the main bad people. I'm getting a bad vibe from Blushweaver. I think that she may be our biggest enemy alongside the priests. And I think that would be a good storyline as well. I think I'd really enjoy that storyline. And we also have these mercenaries. So these two mercenaries, I get more and more suspicious as we go along, especially because we haven't met the third mercenary. And I feel like the third mercenary, who we know is a woman, could be someone we've already met, and I have no idea who, but maybe she's a spy. But they seem to think that she is the most deadly of the three. So yeah, I don't know where that one's going to go, but that one is going to be interesting. I have a suspicion that maybe we already met the third mercenary, and we don't know who she is. Sorry, that we already met her, but we don't know who she is that fits into the story, if that makes sense. So that's it for part 2. As I mentioned before, I'm really enjoying this book. Like, it's a little bit slower now, even though I'm only 180 pages in, and people have told me that it does slow down a bit from now forwards, but I do enjoy the intricacies. I enjoy the allude to the action that's going to come, and the politicking does. I do enjoy that a little bit more than most people, I think. So, and I really enjoy it when it's very mysterious. Like, this one has seemed so much more mysterious than the initial Mistborn trilogy. And because of that, I feel like I'm more excited and enchanted to try and figure out what is happening and what's going on. And it makes me read harder. If that's the thing, it makes me more, like, I just pay more attention. I try to hang on to what does this mean and how does that work a lot more when it's this mysterious. So I think it definitely benefits the book. For me personally, when it is like this. If you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Go to my channel, watch some of the other ones. If you have some ideas you want to share, then put it in the comment. I always appreciate it. In the comments, I always appreciate that. You have a great day.